Do you know what it means to be stuck in low vibrational spaces? Whenever you feel stuck in life, then you may as well embrace that you are in a low vibrational frequency. Ever wonder why it is that some people are good at bouncing back when life gets hard? Others are even quick to recover. And then there are those who tend to waddle in the experiences, thus the feelings they produce: hurt, pain, disappointment, fear. Some stay stuck. There are several universal truths I've come to understand, and I'm going to share 4 of them with you today. And this one, it's key. Everything is energy. I'm going to explain this in a way that you never question what it means ever again. First, know this: life gets hard for every single person. It doesn't matter the race, nor the economic group, nor country. We have different challenges. And I believe each person is also equipped with the raw goods to be able to embrace their own specific challenges, because they are specific. And to get better at handling them, you've got to get specific. I've been in all 3, stuck. And then when I started to learn more about what I'm sharing with you here today, my rebound game got stronger. And now I'm quick to recover no matter what life throws. And you can get there too. First, I'm going to list 4 things that I believe are imperative for you to understand to make the biggest shift in this area, and then delve into them a little deeper in a bit. Number 1, capacity versus ability as it relates to humanity. Number 2, who you are. There isn't nearly enough time spent on this one. And it is the biggest differentiator in your ability to bounce back and recover. Number 3, your environmental influences and how they have impacted you. I said yours, because that is all that matters, not your mama's. If you're male, not all males. If you're black, not every other black person. Because if we tell the truth, the collective experience is a lie. I'll go further. It's often the biggest culprit of keeping you stuck. And there's an energetic pull to keep you there. If you're out here living how other people's environmental influences have impacted them, you are living a general life and missing out on your specific juiciness, your juju. That is all yours. And you can't do both. You have to choose. Everything is energy. I'll break this down to its simplest form, so you'll be able to know how you're vibrating at any time. High for what you want, or low for what you don't want. Hi, I'm Zara Green, and I'm glad you're here. Let's do this. Capacity versus ability. I'm going to spend more time on this one than the others, because once you get this and apply what you learn from it to the others, your life will begin to shift in your favor. You do have a responsibility in how your life plays out. And I promise you, the more you intentionally become a student of life, your specific life, the kinder life will be to you. Capacity for does not equal able to. Let's equate capacity to the ocean and ability to every possible size of bucket. Little baby bucket, one that might fit in a child's dollhouse, to the biggest bucket you can imagine, a massive, massive bucket. I'll bet you've heard this one. God will not give you more than you can handle. And have you ever found yourself in a situation where you were like, God, where you at? Because you weren't handling? I believe we all have. And that's about the time most just give up. But that's because having the capacity to handle whatever life throws doesn't make you able. It just means there's an ocean size of possibility, effective ways for you to handle it. But all you've developed is a child's doll-sized bucket of ability for that situation. and you'll probably drown. Listen, this is life school. You don't remember it, but you actually chose to come here and to be here in this time. Your life is purposeful, and you can learn to play the hell out of the hand you were dealt. And no matter how much it might look like life is against you, you have ocean-sized capacity to grow into. And if this is the first time you're hearing any of this, no matter your age or what you've been through, your time is now. I like analogies, so let me give you another one. Let's liken life to capacity. The gift of life, it's full of capacity. There is no shortage of what your life is capable of producing. Your life itself is the capacity. If that's the case, then ability is then how equipped you become at living your specific life, how proficiently you get at using your own raw materials. And it's the emotional intelligence you continue to develop, and the mental strength, and the detachment from stuff, and the love of self. It is that level of efficiency that creates stability of mind and security that you can handle whatever life throws. That's why you came, not for general group living. No, to get proficient at your own individuality, because it's that informs you of how to connect with every other living entity. Come on, what good is being capable without being able? That's a life of frustration and defeat. That ain't no fun, and it's not what you came to do. Yet, it's the life most people have. Most people have a life of overwhelm, but you don't have to. For 25 years now, I've been declaring to all who listen, do not neglect personal development. It is those continually developed personal skills that will save you when life throws its blows. And right about now, life's blows are coming hard and furious to those who have neglected personal growth. The blows will not stop coming. Our world has set most people up for the very despair they're feeling. So the question is, will you commit to learning more about the next 3 things that I share? I hope you didn't miss that. It was a setup. And I'll explain a little bit more of that too. Our world will never be what it was. It's shifting, and you need to shift too. What if it's now or never? Number 2, who are you? It's not some quest you have to be on for a lifetime to figure out either. No, we came hardwired with some juju that's just you. You were specifically designed to think, feel, and perceive the world in your own way and with purpose. But as soon as you got here, all of us, the social conditioning through environmental influences started with those well-meaning people we were born to. They made things more important than our special juju mix. So you don't have to go in search of yourself. You're still in there. You just have to cut away at the gunk that covered up your special juju mix. Depending on your natural design, there are things that you're able to do with ease and can develop mastery over with time, things others never will, and vice versa. There are some things you'll never master. We all have special juju mix, and when we cooperate with it, life is better for everybody. For example, I'm great with all things linguistic. It's one of my biggest flexes. Leave me with my words. Let me have my voice. Give me any kind of platform, and few can shake a stick at me. But put me in a lab, require me to calculate some mathematics or formulas, and I will feel like a fish out of water, dying a slow death. Because I ain't come here for that. I don't torture myself with things that don't light me up. And the universe always support me in being me. But in truth, getting here took a lot of personal development and saying yes to me in the face of others who would fight me tooth and nail to just conform. This thing called life is personal. And when you set out on your own personal growth journey, people who are not on their own personal growth journey will be there trying to prevent you from getting on yours. You've got to commit to developing yourself more than you care about disappointing anybody else. Did you hear that? You can't help them until you help yourself. And quite frankly, what you'll likely find is that once you help you, they'll want to leave where they're at. They just didn't want you to leave. They wanted you to stay where they're at. You have to know with the utmost confidence who you are by design. You came here different. And then once you know your design, develop skill sets that build on your design. And then simultaneously, you'll be creating the mindset that supports who you are. And that is how you begin to learn to effectively handle whatever life throws at you. Your life isn't general. It is a specific life. I'm a woman, but I am not every woman. I'm not even every black woman. I'm not what any other person with levels of sameness to me is. I am me. Here's a little sidebar about the history of personal development as it relates to corporate America. I especially mention this now because we are having such a major shift in capitalism in the US. In corporate America, they call personal development skills soft skills. I always hated that. I know it because I used to teach them. I also taught professional development skills. When it was time for budget cuts, the personal development soft skills were the first to go. And in the early 2000s, they were pretty much done. Here's what they knew. They knew that if you learned too much about your own personal power, they would lose their control over you. They knew they could lose you. Well, that was not conducive to their structures. Personal development, developing your abilities to know yourself, to learn universal principles, and to tap into your greatness would threaten the social conditioning they'd worked so hard to construct. I mean, you might realize you were too big for their boxes. You might realize you could construct a less stressful life with greater rewards. They didn't want that. No. Instead, they decided who you needed to be for them, and then created some other constructs to keep you bound and stressed. Personal development is a broad brush that can free you from anything you felt bound by. Do not neglect personal development. Number 3, how environmental influences have impacted who you are. Let me explain a little bit more about what this means. In my signature program, Redefined, I take people through things in each of our lives that would have had an effect on every life, thus influencing how we show up in the world. One of those things is parental love, or the lack thereof. Some of us got it, some of us didn't. How that affects a person is going to be very specific to the person. Let's say you did have parental love, but the way it was expressed to you was not what you needed. So what you believe you needed, though a parent tried, you didn't feel loved. Here's what happens with every child who has less than desirable experiences. Every experience after that one that is similar to it reinforces that perceived inadequacy and thus increases the feelings of insecurity. And as time goes on, those feelings grow. But here is the beauty. When you, the full-grown adult, can have a shift in consciousness about that thing, that alone can shift the magnitude of other situations for you. And you'll have a new basis for every future situation that would have otherwise met your old mindset. Everything is neutral until we give it meaning. And for most people, they gave meanings to things in childlike states of mind and have never revisited them for a fresh view to revise them. According to Joe Dispenza, 90% of the thoughts most people think each day are the same as the day before. The same thoughts lead to the same choices. The same choices lead to the same behaviors. The same behaviors create the same experiences. Why? Because the pattern has been created and you remain the same without an intervention. Be your own intervention. Otherwise, you have the same thoughts over and over again, rooted in past experiences that are likely emotionally charged. That's energy, which produce negative feelings within you repeatedly. Again, that's energy. It's no wonder that you stay stuck. A perfect setup for number 4. Everything is energy. Its simplest explanation is this statement. You're either matching the energy of your past or creating new energies to match a new desired reality. Match the frequency of the reality you want, or you'll continue to get the reality you have. You're either developing mentally and emotionally to match the challenges that life presents you, and thus matching the frequency of the reality you want, or you're not. If you're crying, woe is me, you're not. If you're the victim every time something uncomfortable shows up, you're not. Those are examples of having capacity without developing ability. You have to grow with the life you have. Develop the ability to cooperate with your specific life's challenges. I just outlined for you how, starting with your design, who you are. The abilities that you develop is for your specific life's journey. You don't have to learn everything there is to know. Our lives are very specific. You are not to have the same experiences as everybody else based on any perceived similarities. And that's what trips most people up. Most people don't know how to embrace and lead with the things that distinguish them from others. When that is your genius, seeking sameness and to conform cuts you off from serving your own highest good. And it robs others of the gift that is you. When you understand all of these things, then you no longer have to fear what is happening around you. You don't have to fear what your government does or continues to not do. You don't have to fear that the world as you know it is crumbling around you. These are the times to turn inward, to get solidified in who you are. When you do that, you'll stand strong. You'll not crumble. You can become the observer of what is happening without it affecting the core of who you are. You'll become the energetic powerhouse you are designed to be. And that part excites me. As more of us do, we'll be equipped to unite in our genius and usher in the newness that is upon us. If you would like my help with this, there are 2 ways to go about it. If you have a pressing issue, you can order a clarifying session and take my signature course, Redefined, which returns you back to who you truly are and shows you who everybody else is. It gets your whole mind right, with lots of mindset management tools and healthier premises from which to view yourself, what happens in the world, and what will happen. You'll find links to all of that and more in the description below. And while you're there, be sure to get on my list so you don't miss the next enrollment. Well, that's it for now. Until next time, it's your life. Choose it just as it is. Own it, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Change it. As long as you can breathe and learn, it can get better. From somewhere in Colombia, I'm Zara Green. Bye for now.